lo and behold, it's part 17 of Majora's Mask, and I got a feeling we're going to be heading to a new area in today's part, folks. But before that, hold your applause. Before that, we have a really important thing to do, and before we do this, I would recommend, because I think I'm going to cut this off, you're not going to be able to see this, at some point or another, to get a bottle of spring water in your possession, which you can do in the next area that I'm going to visit, or you can go back to the Southern Swamp and do that, and get some magic beans. Preferably, I believe, around 3. Because we're going to need to make some leaf platforms for some pieces of heart. But before that...
Oh, baby, that's a nice thing you got there. Ooh, boy.
Well, I do try to take... Hey, wait a minute, what are you doing?
The song of our people.
What, you just don't do straight down all the time?
No, I don't do straight down. I like to be a little more creative with my Scarecrow songs, then it ends up biting me in the ass when I don't remember my masterpiece of a Scarecrow song.
That's why you just do all one note.
That's so boring.
What does the Scarecrow song even do?
The Scarecrow song erects, that's a word, erects a Scarecrow at specific points. With that, you can use a hook shot to use the Scarecrow to get to unreachable areas.
Okay.
In this case, areas where there are pieces of heart that Link cannot reach without some assistance.
Whoa, that was a bit of a crazy jump cut there, man.
You're erecting a Scarecrow here.
Wow, you suddenly turned into a Goron. Magic.
Yep. I was taking some time to go get that spring water and some magic beans.
Beans, the magical fruit.
Just for a memory refresher, you can get your magic beans in 2 places. In the underground hole in the Deku Palace, if you really like challenging yourself. Or you can go to the entryway of the Southern Swamp photo booth. You can talk to the Deku Scrub there, and he'll tell you some magic beans for 10 rupees a pop.
So why didn't you just call Epona to begin with instead of a one?
Because you need Epona to jump over the gate.
Well, I meant, like, why didn't you just ride on Epona to begin with?
Because Goron Link is faster than Epona.
Wait, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. So you have to ask, beyond jumping fences, what's the point of having...
Not a goddamn thing.
Poor Epona gets no love in this game.
Well, it's just fun to ride about on Epona, really.
Yeah, if you want to... Well, when you're a bonus for when you're on Epona, you're completely invincible.
Oh, hey, look, it's that stage in the original Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers Melee, worst gamer ever, 10 out of 10.
No, I think you'll find the original Smash Bros. Was on the 64, my friend.
Oh, what?
Just showing your age there, Lewis.
You know what? No, I honestly thought this was from the Nintendo 64 Smash Brothers, though.
No, sir.
Brief tangent since we brought it up. The people who say, "Oh, I can't believe people can play Smash Brothers without a GameCube controller." Smash 64. Say no more.
But people like Melee and Brawl better.
No, there are people who say, "Oh, Brawl is worse than 64," and I'm just like, "Shut up." So,
admittedly, though, Melee was my first exposure to Majora's Mask. Well, the Great Bay stage, anyway. Which, going back, now that I have Majora's Mask under my belt, Great Bay. Couldn't we have gotten something else to represent Majora's Mask?
Yeah, Stone Tower, maybe because I like Great Bay. Tower. But there's so much padding here. This is where the game just goes in terms of pacing.
Wait, did this Zora drown?
No, he was gravely injured.
Oh.
And left for dead.
Oh.
As we're going to see after he slowly and meticulously walks up to this point and collapses.
Earthquake.
If you guys can't think of an immediate example, this is like one of the rare examples where we see someone actually die before Link's eyes.
Do villains count?
You can tell. You can say you won't listen. Wait, he just got up, and now he's rocking out on a fish skeleton.
Play Freebird.
You're not allowed to die until you finish the solo.
He can 100% through the fire and the flames.
On easy. Well, you're not really into spectacular at all. Shit.
Baby.
Oh, that English. Oh, that English.
No, I'm more of the fan of that. Oh!
What a great view. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you and good night!
Encore! Encore! That's
I'm
not
fucking
how
dead,
you do
mate.
crowd surfing, dude. You have to wait for a crowd and stuff.
Good night, Springton. There will be no encores.
Why does this happen every time Mick Jagger drinks before a concert?
Jesus Christ, Ryan.
Link's a little late with his ocarina solo, but who cares? We can use it to heal the soul of Mikau right now.
Okay.
Did this dude end up being our Zora mask?
Yes.
Okay, so we could have just, like, gave him some of that red potion.
No, he's dead.
Oh. Well, he probably wouldn't have been dead if he decided not to do a guitar solo.
Hey, but with his last ounce of strength, he had to deliver us a message.
I think Black Void would have been a good stage to represent Majora.
Did he have to use his last ounce of strength doing the message as a guitar solo, though? He might have survived if he hadn't rocked out there.
No, I think it was implied that he wasn't going to survive his injuries.
Yeah, and he was already dying of exposure, so...
Yeah.
He had enough life in him to do that, though.
Because he was really holding on to it.
This is a really weird metaphor now that I think of it, because none of the other people in that shot are dead.
But I guess it's just this dying dream to perform in his band one last time. And now I'm going to wear him as a mask.
Now, what's stopping Link from having, a fairy in a bottle when coming here and then just reviving him?
Again, fairies only revive you when you're unconscious, not dead.
Look at how happy Link is to have this mask.
Hooray, someone died.
Hey, you jerk, that's my face!
It's my face now.
An opponent doesn't give a shit.
Are you done yet? For God's sakes, my feet are getting cold. I always did find that a little touching.
Oh, he made a grave for him?
He made a grave for him.
Oh, it's so Japanese. With the bowing and the respect and the wearing people's faces.
That wouldn't look nearly so odd if we weren't, like in an obviously European-styled fantasy setting. But okay, sure.
I barely knew him. Now let's wear his face.
Oh God, it's those things from Zelda 1 that keep popping out of the ground everywhere.
Don't
flashback.
remind me.
Oh, I love the swimming as Zora Link. It's
Yeah,
so satisfying.
Controls so well.
This is, no longer do we have to worry about the Iron Boots fiasco of 98.
Oh man.
This is Zora Link. Zora Link is pretty much our best way of traveling underwater. He could swim very well, he could swim very fast, and he has great defensive capabilities, which I will demonstrate further down the road. In the meantime, let's break Tingle's kneecaps again.
Zora Link is so great in the water, why does everybody hate Great Bay more than the water temple?
Because it's a terrible temple.
Well, no. Great Bay is fine for the most part. The boss is shit, but it's the lead up to Great Bay, which really kind of drags the whole experience down.
Which is probably why we're going to be spending like 8 parts on it.
At least we're not playing the Japanese version.
What makes the Japanese version worse?
Basically, in the American version, you have to do a whole bunch of water wheel stuff. It'll always pause in positions that you can actually use the water wheels. In the Japanese version, it doesn't.
Oh my god, that sounds horrifying.
Yeah. And also in the Japanese version, that platform for the observatory is actually too high, so you have to dolphin jump out of the water to get on.
It's just like in, I think, the Japanese version of Wind Waker, where in the Western version, to get the Triforce shards, you had to basically get the chart, translate it, and it'll tell you where the shard was. You have to find a chart, to find a chart, to find a shard.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
So we got the dumbed down version of the original one.
No, we got the improved version. Wow, Clock Tower really does look like a looming penis from here.
Yeah.
Keep your penis commentary out of this Majora's Mask. Oh,
don't try and say you're on like so high standards, mate.
I love double standards. Anyway, so we got Zora Mask, but let's immediately get out of Great Bay because that place stinks. Gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Smells
The
like
music
fish.
was really weird. It was the same 3 notes over and over again.
Well, no, it's the remix of the theme that plays in every main area, but the Great Bay really gives it a sense of dread and more of a sense of impending doom.
Especially so if you don't like dark things that live in the water, because you're kind of scared to go in the ocean at all.
Well, I try to avoid Great Bay at night, because fuck Great Bay at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're going here first, because it's right outside of Great Bay, and we need Zora Link in order to get this heart piece.
Okay, this is like the most unintuitive thing ever. You're fighting something with your boomerang while it's underwater.
Yeah, these are aquatic babas. Once you kill them, they fall down and then they grow legs.
Oh wait, no, you're fighting it with arm blades. Actually, that's pretty cool, but Wait,
Yeah.
how are you fighting at a distance with arm blades?
Well, you can throw your arm fins like boomerangs. Zora Link, yeah, it's pretty much a makeshift boomerang too, such as, and I missed horribly there.
I love the faces on these guys. Like, it was paused on the you got a heart screen and it was like, wow.
You know, stuff like this is why I would really actually like it if they did a Majora's Mask 3DS remake like they did Ocarina. Because, all this stuff looks cool already, but if it got the graphics upgrade, I think like this particular form would also look a lot more.
Oh yeah.
I think the cool factor would go up.
Also, he has like an electric barrier, which you can use defensively and offensively. That would benefit from a graphics boost, I think.
Yeah, that consumes magic meter, as long as you have the shoulder button held down. But we're going to be taking advantage of a certain alcoholic beverage. You didn't hear that from me, though. I'm underage.
Shut up, John.
But yeah, we'll see that later down the road. All right, so I'm heading back to the mountain village on Snowhead. But remember, you have to make sure Goat is defeated so that a majority of the snow is melted, so that we can travel along the riverside here, because this is a chest that you can only open with Zora Link.
So you have to. So if you didn't, so you have to go back and beat him again.
If you restarted the time, yeah.
Yes, if you restart the time cycle, you have to beat Goat again. And
That sounds like a pain in the ass.
No, one, Goat is really fun to fight. 2, there's a warp thing in the entrance of the temple that takes you right to him. And 3, Goat's just fun to fight.
Okay, yeah, that warp thing is definitely a godsend in this case, but
yeah, and again, that was one of the misconceptions that I had with Majora's Mask in the beginning. Is like, oh God, if I reset the time cycle, does that mean I gotta do the entire dungeon over again if I complete it? And the answer to that is no. Like, once you complete it once, there's a warp panel that takes you immediately to the boss area. Now, it doesn't make sense, but
Yeah.
who cares?
This area looks really nice for that.
Yeah, I agree. Really, I highlight the trees. Tingle's red balloon, it makes a good contrast.
Tingle's red balloon was in the Great Bay stage, wasn't it?
Yeah, you could stand
Yes.
on it.
You can break his knees there, too. But okay, they always grow back. And now I'm a dolphin. Alright, we are now heading into the secondary area of Great Bay. Great Bay is one area that I dread on the approach, but then when I actually get in there, it's not as bad as I remember it to be. Because a lot of it is just wide open ocean that leads to nowhere except for Pinnacle Rock, which I will explore later. And after that, it's just a matter of going to the Pirate Fortress, which is really easy to get to, and another small area for a piece of heart. Besides that, all that's left is this area, which has another entryway above there, but I don't have the hook shot yet. And there's nothing else here besides that. It's not a bad area, it's just, it does sort of drag, as Tom was getting at earlier. But is that it, though? Like, is that your main disdain for Great Bay? It's just, it bogs the game down?
Well, I suppose the disdain just comes from, the padding and whatnot, because the difficulty of Great Bay is mostly determined on how many bottles do you own. Are you going out of your way to do side quests? And if you have, like, a lot, it will get done twice as fast. If you only have a couple, it will take you a few trips to get the mini quests done.
Yeah. Absolutely right. Now that I think about that. I have, I believe, 4 bottles at my disposal at this point.
I think that's the most you can have at this point.
At this point, maybe. It depends, because, again, I am going things when... I am taking an eye on quests when they're convenient to me. And if I can do them along the way. I don't like to sidetrack too far away, but if I have nothing else to do between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., then I might as well take some time to do it.
Well, that's odd, because after you beat Woodfall, I was surprised you didn't do the Spider House, because that's usually what I do.
I do the Spider House later because I want to get both Spider Houses done at once for the sake of commentary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'd be dealing with, like, I think, like, part 12 would be 15 minutes, and then part 13 would be 32.
Oh,
like, ooh.
Mate, we do dungeon parts that go upwards of 40.
Yeah, well, that's your decision.
I'm watching this, and I don't know what's more amazing, the fact that you're fishing with a bottle, or the fact that the fish magically shrinks to accommodate the bottle. Because those bottles are as big as, like, Link's entire body.
Yeah, we stuffed the Deku Princess in here earlier.
Isn't this some sort of, like, martial arts training? of some kind, like trying to stuff as many fish into bottles as possible? Or am I
Well.
thinking of something else?
Bottles are a magical device. You can use them to counter Gandalf's laser bolts. In the end of
I don't know.
the
I
first
seem to
game of
have like
Ocarina.
3 apple sauce jars in my cabinet that look exactly the same.
So you too can defeat the Prince of Darkness.
Just haven't unlocked their full potential yet, Ted, I assure you.
Yeah, so when Gandalf kicks down your door, just throw a jar of applesauce at him. He won't know how to deal with
He'll
it.
be so utterly confused he won't see the knife going into his ankle.
Do I have to be wearing a stupid green hat?
Yes.
Oh,
It's
okay. I guess I'm screwed.
fashionable. Yes. Anyway, so let's warm ourselves up to what we're doing with the bottles. We're gonna need at least, I believe, 5 fishes total. I only have 4 bottles, so I gotta backtrack, unfortunately. But we're feeding. I missed.
Oh, I missed.
Well, to be fair, you have to backtrack, Kenny. Oh, you can catch it back.
Yeah. You have some time to pick the fish back up, but I did face smack myself there. But yeah, stand over the crate. And what we're doing here is that we're feeding the fish. Unfortunately, there are 2 fish inside the tank. There are times you have to feed one fish 5 fish in order to make it big enough so that he eats the other fish and regurgitates a piece of heart as a
Yeah.
result. However, because there are 2 fish in the tank, there are times when fish number 4, you want to go for the big fish, but the small fish ends up eating it instead, and that means you gotta go back and get some more fish now because one fish was being a greedy little bitch.
I hope you leave my groans in there, because I've never done this before, and that was my honest, legit reaction.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I leave everything in, unless it's personal.
Well, it's not hard. It's just tedious.
Well, yeah, it's tedious. Again, it's only a problem because I only have 4 bottles when I need 5 fish.
So what are these? What are these fish? Magic mushrooms for killer fish or something? Because
How
that's
do you
what it
know?
looks like.
How do you know to do this anyway?
It's like, you know what? In editing, you should put in the Mario growing up sound effect. It would be so appropriate to that animation.
Like, does anybody ever tell you to do this?
I believe the guy over here that owns this aquarium tells you, or gives you some sort of vague hint. But yes, you can do this.
If this was a Paper Mario game, you get a billboard of stuff that you can do for heart pieces. Like, feed fish. Oh my god! I didn't expect it to get that big.
And that's why I like Paper Mario. There's no bullshit.
Well, no, to be fair, it's usually not that hard to figure out what you need to do in a 3D Zelda game in a particular area. So, it's like, if you talk to people, John just sort of skipped that step in this case.
Well, we shall see what I do with the